students, how are you? I'm Krishnendu Roy. I'm from Indraprastha Engineering College and I'm back with the subject called heat and mass transfer. Okay, so if you have seen my previous video, it was all about tutorial. Okay, I've already covered the theory for the unit 1 of your course and I've already covered the tutorials for unit 1 of the course. Okay, so unit 1 we have covered the conduction, the convection, okay, bit of convection basically, because the convection is a separate unit in your course, so we'll be touching that as well. So conduction basically, so conduction through plain wall, composite wall, cylinder, plain cylinder, composite cylinder, sphere, composite sphere, and that sort of things. And then we have also done the derivations for 3D heat conduction equation in Cartesian Cartesian cylindrical and spherical coordinates. Okay, so the journey had been very nice, and now we are into the unit 2. Unit 2 theory I have already covered. I have covered the fins, means the extended surfaces, how the heat conduction or the convection or the combined mode goes on when you talk about the heat transfer through extended surfaces, that is fins, very common to see in the real world. And then I have already covered the transient, that is quite practical in nature, because nothing is steady in nature, so that's why it changes with time, so the transient goes well with it. Okay, so now it's time for doing numericals and the derivations again, because the derivation is a very important part, so that's why we'll be touching derivation once again. So in this tutorial for unit 2, so I will be doing numericals and derivation for the entire unit. So the first will be for fins, okay, the second again I will be doing for fins, and the third will be there for the transient. Okay, both I will touch both the cases. One that is when the Biot's number, when the internal resistance you neglect, that's the Biot's number lesser than 0.1, and when the Biot's number greater than 0.1, when the internal resistance you do not neglect. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's start. Okay, so this is the thing that we'll be beginning with. Okay, so see, I have taken the reference of heat and mass transfer by Mr. R.K. Rajput, and I have also taken the reference of heat and mass transfer by C.P. Kothandaraman, and I have also taken the reference of heat and mass transfer by Dr. Senthil. Okay, so these were the references from where I've made my notes and or made my presentation in front of you. So let's go for it. So it's heat flow through rectangular fin. So heat flow through rectangular fin. Fin I have already discussed when I was discussing the theory. Okay, so fin are basically the extended surfaces. Okay, so fins are basically extended surfaces. So you know that Q is directly proportional to the area. Okay, we all know that Q is directly proportional to the area. So when Q is directly proportional to the area, and you also know that Q is directly proportional to the delta T. So this delta T actually you cannot change, because suppose if you have an engine, okay, which is combusting at around 700 degrees Celsius. I'm just taking a crude example, okay, which is combusting at around 700 degrees Celsius, and the ambient temperature, suppose if this is the internal temperature and the ambient temperature is suppose 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, now you cannot change both of them. Okay, you cannot change the ambient temperature, and you also cannot change the internal combustion temperature of an internal combustion engine. So then what can you change? So this you have no control on it. Then what can you change? You can actually change the area. Okay, now you cannot go on increase the area and you go on increase the rate of heat transfer. Okay, so there has to be a control. So you actually increase the area in again a very controlled manner, because these as you can see in the diagram, that's a fin. Okay, so fin is actually extending from the main surface. So you cannot go on extending the surface because you have to fit that particular thing somewhere. So if you are trying to fit that particular thing somewhere and it is too long, too hefty long, then definitely it won't be fitting somewhere. Okay, so the design has to be like that. So everything, every minor thing has to be considered when you are designing for a larger amount of heat transfer using these extended surfaces. Okay, so it's pretty simple here, as I've already done in my previous theory videos. So let's do it again. Okay, so it's a rectangular fin. The rectangular fin is just because we have a rectangular cross sectional area. Okay, and it's a rectangular thing. Okay, had it been a cylindrical fin, it would have been like this. Okay, so that would have been a cylindrical fin. Okay, so but it is right now a rectangular fin. Okay, so what's happening here? See, this is an element. Okay, I'm just repeating the derivation once again. So just try to make it very clear. So this is the base. Suppose if this is the engine, okay, combusting at around 700 degrees Celsius, just what I have written here. Okay, so this is the engine and the base temperature is suppose TO. The origin temperature is TO. Okay, so this is the engine. So this is the fin and the length of the fin is L meters or whatever. Okay, feet, meters, whatever is the dimension. Okay, so now we have taken an element, and you all know when there is a heat transfer between solid to solid surfaces, then there is conduction. Okay, so the heat is now getting conducted from this surface to this surface. Okay, but when there is a surface and an ambient, or a fluid that is surrounding the surface, you know what will go on. Actually, there will be convection. Okay, so you can see here it's convection. Okay, so we have conduction and we have convection, and this is the element that we have considered. Okay, so element is x distance away from the base. Base means the body or the engine, you can say. Okay, and the elemental thickness is the dx, and you all know, as we have done the heat conduction equation. Okay, so this is qx that is coming in to the element. Okay, so once it crosses the dx, so it will be qx plus dx. Okay, did you remember that the qx plus dx, actually the qx was having an elemental heat that is getting added to it just because it had an internal heat generation in that derivation, right? So okay, and the remaining heat gets convected into the atmosphere or the fluid that is surrounding in it, that is surrounding this particular object. Had it been gas, then the heat would have got convected into the gas. Gas means air, suppose, and had there been fluid, then there will be convection in the fluid. So there will be convective cycle inside the fluid. Okay, so it's a perimeter. Okay, cross sectional area. Okay, now the temperature of the base is T naught. Okay, and the temperature of the ambient is TA here. I have taken T infinity, that's my nomenclature, but as per this book they have taken TA as the ambient temperature. Okay, the heat transfer the convective heat transfer coefficient is H here. Okay, and the thermal conductivity is K here. Okay, and by this time you should be really aware of what is thermal conductivity and what is convective heat transfer coefficient. Okay, you must be aware of the units. So it is watts per meter Kelvin of K, that is thermal conductivity, and watts per meter square Kelvin for H, and this is your convective heat transfer coefficient. Okay, so let's get into this. So these are the things, these are the parameter, L is the length of the fin. Okay, L is the length of the fin, I have already marked it there. Okay, B is the width of the fin, here B is the width of the fin, Y is the thickness of the fin. Okay, I will be talking about the perimeter. The perimeter is basically what? It is twice into breadth plus the thickness of the fin. Okay, the perimeter is required because the heat is actually coming out of the perimetrical surface. Okay, so perimeter of the fin is this. I have already told you about this. That is twice into breadth plus the thickness. Okay, now the cross sectional area is by. It is breadth into the thickness. this is the cross sectional area, as you can already see. This is Y, the thickness, and this is the B, okay, and L is there, okay. So cross sectional area done. T naught I have already explained you at the base of the fin. Ta is the ambient temperature of the fluid surrounding the fin. K is the thermal conductivity. Okay, thermal conductivity is a constant, as you all know. It's an intrinsic property of the material. So this is the intrinsic property of the material that is being used to make this fin. Okay, had it been brass, had it been metal, so the K will actually change as per the metal. And the heat transfer coefficient actually depends on temperature, and K also depends on temperature. Okay, so let's go to the next page. Okay, so in order to determine the governing differential equation for the fin, okay, which we have just seen in the figure, consider that the heat flow to and from an element dx thick at a distance x from the base. Okay, so this was the thing. See, this dx is the elemental thickness, I've already told you, and this is the distance from the base x. Okay, so heat conducted into the element at plane x, and this you all know. Which equation is this? Come on, this is Fourier's law of conduction. Okay, so Fourier's law of conduction actually states that the heat transfer is directly proportional to the area. It is directly proportional to the product of area, cross sectional area, and the negative of the temperature gradient. So this is Fourier's law. This is Fourier's law of conduction. Okay, so heat conducted out of the element, as we have done in the derivation in the first unit. So heat conducted out of the element is x plus dx. So plane out of x plus dx will be qx plus dx. It was q and it is qx plus dx. So it will be nothing, but here it will be x plus dx and nothing else. Okay, so heat convected out of the element now, as I have already told you. See, as I have already told you, this is the perimeter actually. Okay, so this is the perimeter. So at the perimetrical surface, what is the heat that is convected out of the element of the fin? So this is the thing. So heat that is coming out, so area is basically P into dx, right? The area will be P into dx. P, the unit of P will be in meters. P is basically perimeter, so unit will be perimeter into the thickness, that is again in meters. So the area, you know, the unit is meter square, so here it is meter square, so this is area. Okay, so Q convection is heat transfer coefficient into the area into T minus Ta. Okay, T minus Ta. Okay, now this T is basically, okay, I will be discussing it later on. Okay, this T, because this T is not To, this T is T, and what is this? I will just come to it later on. Okay, now applying an energy balance on the element. Now what do you understand by energy balance? Energy balance, mass balance means what is coming into the system will be on one side and what is going outside the system will be on the other side. Okay, so you know what is coming into the system, what is going out of the system. So the Qx, suppose and this is my subject element, right? So what is coming into this element, what is going out of the element is Qx is that is coming into the element, Qx plus dx is coming out of the element. Okay, and Q convection is also coming out of the element here. Okay, so energy balance will be Qx is equals to Qx plus dx plus Q convection here. Okay, see, okay, there you go. Now what's next? Just, you know, apply, you replace these Q's with their respective formulae. So this is Newton's law, okay, and these two are the Fourier's law. So replace it by Fourier's law and Newton's law, right? So there you go, we have just applied it. Okay, now what's next? Okay, what you need to do is, actually now you need to make a Taylor's expansion of the temperature gradient. Okay, Taylor's expansion, actually Taylor series you have already done in your engineering mathematics. Okay, so I won't be going into the Taylor's expansion, but the thing is that this is actually required for the derivation. So here it is, like it is dt by dx, x plus dx is dt by dx x, dt by dx, dt by dx x dx. then there will be a second order derivative, and 2 factorial, 1 factorial plus 2 factorial plus 3 factorial and so on. Okay, substituting this in equation, here, sorry, in equation this, so you will have this. Okay, and now neglecting the higher terms. So if you neglect the higher terms, it will be very simple, right? So if you neglect the higher term, you are left with this. Okay, now dividing both sides by the cross sectional area, so you have this. Okay, so it's just a normal thing, so just divide this by k throughout, so it will be here. Do you remember what was this when I was teaching you the fins? What was this? HP by Ka. Can you just tell me, or for that matter, what was root over HP by Ka? This was actually fin parameter represented by m, and it's a very important thing. Okay, okay, so here it is. Okay, this is the fin parameter. So the equation this now is getting simplified. Okay, is further simplified by transforming the dependent variable by defining the temperature x as theta. Okay, so what is theta? Theta is equals to T minus Ta. Now what is this T? This is not T naught, this is temperature which is having something relation with the x. X is the distance. Okay, so if you suppose go to here, suppose if you are taking an element here, the temperature will be different. If you are taking an element here, the temperature will be different, just because it is near, it is quite this element is quite far away from the base, so that's why it will be having lesser temperature, and this is quite near to the base, so it will have more temperature. It will be much hotter than the one that is away. Okay, so this temperature actually depends on x. Where is x? Here is x. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, now equation 2.129, I have already discussed this, so it will be theta. So just put theta here, so you will have a second order differential here. So second order differential, so it will be like T minus Ta. So T minus Ta was here, so T minus Ta, this will become theta, and this will be, because see, T minus Ta, so Ta is constant, so it will be d square T by dx square minus 0. Okay, like this. See, so m, is a fin parameter, represent a general form of the energy equation for one dimensional heat dissipation from an extended surface. Okay, the parameter m for a given fin is constant provided the convective film coefficient H is constant, okay, over the whole surface, and the thermal conductivity K is constant within the temperature range considered. Then the general solution of this linear and homogeneous second order differential equation is of the form. Now you have found out the second order differential equation here, and you have already been taught the second order differential equations general solution. The second order differential equations general solution is basically this. So it is C1 means the first constant into the product of exponential term, okay, the positive exponential term, plus the second constant into means the product of second constant and the exponential term of the means is the negative exponential term. Okay, so here you can see it is minus mx and it is positive mx. C1 and C2 are this. Okay, now there are two cases, as you all know. So the first case is the fin is infinitely long when the length is not defined, and the second case we will not be taking the third case. So this one and this one, these two things are there in your syllabus. So the first one, when the length is not defined, means we consider that the fin is infinitely long, and the second one is when the fin tip is insulated. Okay, I have already done this in my previous theory lectures, but we'll be doing it. So heat dissipation from an infinitely long fin, I've already told you that the length of the fin, this is quite theoretical, this is hypothetical, but this is quite easier to understand, to approach how it goes on. Okay, so heat dissipation from an infinitely long fin, that is L tends to infinity. Okay, so in this case, if you see this x is approaching towards the infinity. Okay, and you can see as we move along the direction of x, actually the temperature profile starts decreasing, and it eventually comes to the ambient temperature. See, it is not 0. This is not 0. This is the ambient temperature. Nothing could actually come down below the ambient temperature, because if something has to come down below the ambient temperature, you have to deploy the refrigeration or the air conditioning techniques, basically refrigeration techniques. But here we are not discussing about the refrigeration technique. Okay. So here it is. So at x is equals to 0, okay, at x is equals to 0, T is equals to T naught, and at x is equals to infinity, T is equals to TA. TA is the ambient temperature. These are the boundary conditions. Okay, you just need to deploy the boundary conditions here. So once you deploy the boundary conditions here, you will actually have these two constants coming out. Okay, and then you actually deploy into that particular thing, and then you will have the equation. This is basically the temperature profile. This is the temperature profile for various m's. Okay, so temperature profile, you just put the value of x and you will get the value of T, T minus TA. Okay, so this is the temperature profile. Okay, now the rate of heat flow across the base of the fin, we have to take out the Q max. Okay, so by the Fourier's equation, we all know that the conduction occurs at the base, the maximum conduction. So here it is, at x is equals to 0. Okay, you know this is the theta. Okay, so this is the thing. You just derive it and put x is equals to 0, and just by little here and there you can actually get this, and this is the fin. This is the maximum heat transfer through a fin, not the maximum heat transfer, this is the heat transfer through the fin when the length is undefined or the length is infinite. Okay, so it's just a simple derivation, you just have to derivate it. Okay, because and we all know that when x is 0, the temperature becomes maximum. Okay, so you can see, okay, when x is 0, temperature become maximum, so you just derivate it, and then you put the x is equals to 0 there, and then you can get this, and little here and there, little rearranging the terms, and you can get it. Okay, now let's start this numerical. Calculate the amount of energy required to solder two very long pieces of bare copper wire 1.5 mm in diameter with solder that melts at 190 degrees Celsius. The wires are positioned vertically in air at 20 degrees Celsius. Assume that the heat transfer coefficient on the wire surface is 20 watts per meter square degree Celsius, and the thermal conductivity of the wire alloy is 330 watts per meter degree Celsius. Okay, so what is given here? The diameter of the diameter, so it will be used in calculating the area. As you can all see, this is the cross sectional area. Okay, so the base temperature is given here 190 degrees Celsius. Okay, and the ambient temperature 20 degrees Celsius is also given here. Okay, the heat transfer coefficient, the convective heat transfer coefficient is given here. Okay, and the thermal conductivity is given here. So friends, everything is given here. It's a quite simple numerical. So the cross section area of a wire means I'm talking about the circle, so it is pi by 4 d square, and the perimeter is basically pi d, you all know. Okay, so just put these two things here. You have h, you have p, you have just calculated p here, you have k, and you have calculated a here. So you know the fin parameter is root over hp by ka. So you can calculate this, and we all know what is the formula. The formula is root over h p k a theta naught, or t minus t infinity, or ta for this matter. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, now the next numerical, it is required to heat oil to about 300 degrees Celsius for frying purpose. A ladle is used in the frying. Okay, the section of the handle is 5 mm by 18 mm. The surroundings are at 30 degrees Celsius. The conductivity of the material is 205 watts per meter degree Celsius. If the temperature at a distance of 380 mm from the oil should not reach 40 degrees Celsius, determine the convective heat transfer coefficient. Okay, so what is given, friends? TO, that is the base temperature, the width is given, the thickness is given, okay, the length is given, the K is given, and the ambient temperature is given. And this is the diagram of what they what they are meant to explain you. Okay, so this is the cross section, and this is the main drawing of the handle. Okay, so convective heat transfer coefficient. So what they are asking you, if the temperature at a distance of 380 mm from the oil should not reach 40 degrees Celsius, determine the convective heat transfer. So here you need to deploy the formula for the means the temperature profile, because here we are talking about calculating temperature at some distance x. Okay, so here for infinitely long fin, okay, so do it. It's everything is given, so just you need to calculate the m, and once you have calculated the m, you need to actually calculate h. Okay, so everything is there, nothing to worry about. P, you know what is P? P is basically for rectangular. What is P? It is basically 2 into breadth plus thickness. Okay, so that's it. And area, you know, that is breadth into thickness. Okay. So another numerical for this matter, a temperature rise of 60 degrees Celsius in a circular shaft of 60 mm diameter is caused by the amount of heat generated due to friction in the bearing mounted on the crankshaft. The thermal conductivity of the shaft material is 50 watts per meter degree Celsius, and the heat transfer coefficient is 6.5 watts per meter square degree Celsius. Develop an expression for the temperature distribution and determine the amount of heat transferred through the shaft. Okay, assume that the shaft is a rod of infinite length. So we are pretty much clear what kind of formula we're going to use, because they have already told, they are actually telling us that you need to use the rod of infinite length. Okay, so see, the temperature rise is given here, the diameter of the shaft is given, thermal conductivity is given, and heat transfer coefficient is given, and we all know that this is the general solution of the second order differential equation. So using the following boundary conditions, okay, so we got the required expression. Okay, so because we had to develop this, otherwise this thing we have already discussed in my previous slides. Okay, so amount of heat transferred Q, so this is the thing, and we all know that the formula of Q, you know. Okay, so M is this, just calculate M and then you calculate the Q. Okay, so it's pretty simple, right? So let's go to this. It's IES 1993 question. Two long rods of the same diameter, one made of brass, that is having conductivity of 85 watts per meter degree Celsius, and other made of copper, that is K is equals to 375 watts per meter degree Celsius, have one of the ends inserted into the furnace. Okay, one of the ends means it's a cantilever kind of thing, it's a fin basically, full stop. Both of the rods are exposed to the same environment, full stop, at a distance 105 mm away. Okay, 5 mm away means they're talking about x and the temperature, so the temperature profile has to be there. The temperature profile equation you need to insert. Away from the furnace end, the temperature of the brass rod is 120 degrees Celsius. Okay, at what distance from the furnace and the same temperature would be reached in the copper rod? Okay, so the thermal conductivity of first rod, thermal conductivity of the second rod, the controlling differential equation we all know, this is second order differential equation and it is its general solution. So you all know the boundary conditions. So in the boundary conditions you are getting C1 here, so you're getting C2 here, you are actually deriving the equation. So here you are, so this is the temperature profile. Okay, now for the brass rod, see there are actually two rods, simultaneously two rods. Okay, so what you need to do is, so here it is like the same equation that you are transferring. Okay, so just rearranging the term just by doing simple mathematics, what you can do is you have M1 and you have M2, so take the ratio and you know the length you can calculate from here. Okay, so finally what we need to learn is, till now what I have taught you, I have taught you several numericals. I have taken 3 to 4 numericals. I think that would be sufficient enough, and I have gone into the detailed derivation of the fin. Okay, I think the numericals that I have taken is of quite a difficult in the stature. So I hope this video will actually help you to derive this equation and will actually help you to solve the numericals based on this derivation. Thank you friends. Once again, I am Krishnendu Roy. So I will be meeting you in my next lecture. Thank you.